Miguel Benitez. Welcome to my channel. Welcome back if you've been here before. And today I have Dr. Kelly Burton with me to help us answer the question, what is skepticism? So thank you to Dr. Burton for being here today. And Dr. Burton, what do we, how should we understand this idea of skepticism? Isn't being skeptical a good thing? How do we maybe make that distinction?
First, thanks for having me, Miguel. And when I talk about skepticism, I try to make a distinction between being skeptical, which is a healthy thing. We should be skeptical when we hear things that we either doubt or it sounds fishy to us. So being skeptical, we can say, is an attitude towards information that's coming to us that we need to probably do more investigation and think critically about. So being skeptical is a healthy thing. But notice skepticism has an ism at the end, so it's a position. And I would say it's a philosophical position in the area of epistemology that says knowledge is not possible. We cannot really know for sure. And a popular way it comes out is nobody can really know for sure. Okay, and that can be unhealthy because if nobody can really know for sure, then how do we act? How do we know what to do? Because our thinking is what drives our actions. And if we can't know for sure, then what do we do?
So if I'm hearing you correctly, we want to be skeptical, right? That article that we see on social media that comes from an unknown website that says exactly what we believe. We should be skeptical of sharing that, of believing that, until we've kind of further confirmed that.
You should always check and double check.
Right. All right. But
critically.
But skepticism would leave no room for thinking critically, right?
Right. Skepticism is just, it's just saying, that's your opinion pretty much to everything. And so why would we go double check? Because it's somebody's opinion and all we're going to find is somebody else's opinion, and there's no true opinions.
Right. And how else do we see skepticism come about? What kind of categories of skepticism might we see?
I sometimes have students in class talk about being agnostic. I teach philosophy, and in philosophy, we want to know what is real. And so skepticism is a position that says we can't know what is real. Agnosticism is more like, I can't know or I don't know. It's more of a personal kind of skepticism. And I know adults that stay there. They don't do that pursuit of understanding. So it's a almost subliminal skepticism. Like, why would I try to know things about what is real? It's a little more modest in their claim. They're not saying nobody can know. It's just, I don't know. I think it's a little dishonest because, again, people are acting, they're doing things, and doing comes from our thinking or our lack of thinking. So we're assuming what is real. And our assumptions could be false. So we should be skeptical about our assumptions and check them out. And I would say I'm a firm believer that knowledge of ultimate reality is possible. And if you want to know and you pursue it, you can find answers to those hard questions that you have. Now, you asked what other categories there may be. I think there's a religious version of skepticism, and we use the word fideism for that. It's like faithism. It's a blind leap. It's belief without really understanding the thing that you believe. Some people take pride in this. They think, I believe because I don't understand. But that's also skepticism. And I'm not sure which comes first. I tend to think fideism comes first, and the skeptic is turned off by that. Just take this blind leap or just believe. And they're like, I can't just believe. I need to understand it. I need to know it. And so then they say, nobody can really know. And these people that claim to know don't really know. So the religious person who is stuck in that fideism is perpetuating skepticism. And I think they both lead down the same road. They both lead to a kind of meaninglessness, emptying things of meaning. Again, we're just picking our opinion. The religious person picks that opinion, and the non-religious person picks a different opinion, but we don't really know. And this leads to a kind of nihilism or meaninglessness. And I feel like our society is suffering from this right now. Fideism and skepticism.
Before we kind of talk about that nihilism that this results in, you mentioned briefly that some fideists almost take pride in fideism, and I think I've seen it from fideists and agnostics, because it's a kind of intellectual humility, right?
Right.
Or at least that's the way that it's
Yeah.
presented.
Right.
Um, wouldn't intellectual humility be a virtue? Isn't that something we want to have and keep
Yeah.
in mind?
No, that's a really good point. And humility, intellectual humility is a virtue, and a virtue is aimed towards some goal. So being humble is like being in a position to learn. So I would say true intellectual humility is saying, I don't know, but I want to know. I'm going to find a teacher that does know and learn from them. Humility in and of itself is no value. It's only in value related to some goal. And I would say the best goal for a rational being, which we are rational beings, is knowledge. So intellectual humility would say, I don't know, I need to know, I'm going to seek until I find somebody or somebody in the past who knows. What is that? How does that go for you?
Yeah, no, I think that's exactly right. I think that's helpful, because we do want to certainly understand that as rational beings, we're limited beings.
Yeah.
We've only been exposed to so much. We've got certain limitations, but it's not virtuous to deny things that can be known and ought to be known, right? So,
Right. I mean, think about this, Miguel. When we want to know something, we go and look it up.
yeah,
Let's say I want to learn how to do formatting books. I go and I find a person who can teach me, and I pay them money. So there
right,
are other things we do pursue to know. It's just this area about the really most important things that we don't.
yeah,
And it's because
yeah.
we've been told we can't know.
Right. If we want to know what skepticism is, we plug it into YouTube and we find
Yeah,
philosophers that can tell us what skepticism
right.
is. So, and just kind of in closing here, you mentioned that skepticism, fideism, this kind of agnosticism, I can't know, lead us to nihilism. What is nihilism? What is this loss of meaning that you made reference to?
So nihilism is there is no meaning. And I think the heart of nihilism comes from if we can't know the most basic things that are the most important things, like what is real, what is true, what is good, then what are we doing? When we speak words, they don't express anything that we could know. So words are meaningless. When I get out of bed in the morning and I have to go to work and my job is meaningless, and the point of my life is, I don't know, I live and then I die and go back to the earth and that's it. That there's a kind of existential meaningless that comes out of a kind of philosophical meaninglessness. So when we empty things of meaning philosophically, words don't apply to what is, and we can't know what is, then the purpose of our life also is unknowable. And maybe this drives people crazy, some people crazy.
Okay, good. So just to recap for our audience, and we'll close here, skepticism, we would say, is not merely being skeptical. It's not just questioning things. It's not pursuing truth, but rather a denial that we can know any truth.
Right.
Okay,
Yes.
very good. All right, so I hope that this was helpful to you guys. Be sure to leave us a comment down below. What are your thoughts? Have you heard skepticism described this way? In what ways have you encountered skepticism? I want to say thank you to Kelly for joining me today and for helping us as we explore this idea of skepticism.
Thank you, Miguel.
All right.